is for going through the 30 Ped-Bike safety corridors and demonstrating the field maps application, as well as the desktop application that comes with this application. So what you see in front of you is a field maps application. So one of my colleague, Garrett, he's going to demonstrate this through, and let's see what this has. One thing I wanted to add before we begin that is that this is an optional service that is available for the department and the districts to use in the field and collect the information directly from the field. Once the information is collected in the field, can also be looked at in the desktop application in real time. Or we can pre-fill the information in the desktop application and also retrieve that information while we are out in the field and doing the work. So let's just go through one by one. So this application will go through two training materials. One will be for field maps and the second one will be for the desktop application. So Garrett.
All right, thank you, Rakesh. So this application, as Rakesh mentioned, was developed for ArcGIS field maps, which can be found in the App Store of any Android or iOS device, and it's also available in the FDOT.com portal. If you search for ArcGIS field maps or just simply field maps, it's going to be the first result. So you may need the latest software update to download the app, and location services will also need to be enabled prior to use. So as soon as you've downloaded the app and you select the field maps icon, you'll be prompted to enter your FDOT ArcGIS online credentials. And please note that these are not your FDOT organization or email credentials. Upon opening this map window, you're automatically going to be directed to your current location. And if you return to the app, the map will appear where you left off. You can pan and zoom by using 2 fingers. You can navigate to the area in which you intend to edit data. And in this case, I'm navigating to District 2 to demonstrate how to collect data on one of the 30 pedestrian bicycle corridors. The red lines that you're seeing are the corridors themselves. So to add a data point or a line, press and hold the desired location where crosshairs will appear. And that's going to allow you to begin collecting data at that point by pressing collect here. Alternatively, you can add data by tapping on the blue circle with a plus icon, but doing so will direct you to your current location. So after pressing collect here, this menu of 11 editable layers appears. You want to choose the layer you want to add data to, and in this first scenario, we're adding data to signalized intersections. An editing menu will appear. You could scroll down to see all the editable fields. In this layer, there are several required fields, which are denoted by an asterisk that must be completed before submitting. This intersection is at State Road 109 at Beanie Road. So next, enter the number of left turn lanes for each travel direction. Then enter the number of through lanes for each travel direction as well. And finally, enter the number of right turn lanes for each travel direction. You have the option of adding comments in a comments field that appears in every field grouping. So the following fields are optional. You may also take a photo directly from the app. Select use photo. If you want to rename the photo, you can select rename in the upper right-hand corner.
And this feature is very especially important because when you're out in the field, you may be parked in a very safe location, obviously not right at the location of for which you have taken or the feature that you have taken pictures of. So using the Take Photo app, it's important to rename that so that you can rename it. Let's say you have taken a picture of northbound direction, mast arm, signal heads. You can name it like that so that when you go back out in the field, go back to the office and complete your field review, it's easy for you to retrieve that information and kind of relate it to the right location. So it's very important for us to kind of realize that naming the photo right when the photo is taken can solve your problem easily of not having to remember where exactly it is taken for. Another thing that you see there is an attach field. So let's say if you had something before going out in the field, in the desktop application, which we'll talk about here in a bit, you had attached some important or related documents. You can retrieve that the document here in the application as well, or let's say you have taken a PDF with you and you have a PDF scan of something that you want to attach here as well. You can attach it from the field. So it's two-way compatible. You can do that from the field and retrieve it in the field from whatever you have done from the desktop application. Get it?
Right, thank you. When the collection is completed, you can mark completed, which is the last required field, and then press submit in the upper right-hand corner on iOS or the check mark in Android.
And remember that if you haven't filled out those required field, the submit will not let you submit. So that's one of the reasons. Some of the information when we go out in the field, either you can pre-fill the information if you already know from your office before going out in the field, or we need to fill that out when we are out there. So it's very important for us to take a note of those fields that are marked in asterisks as required, and rest of the field is optional to you, like Garrett had mentioned. uh, we would highly recommend to go through them because there are so many of those features that you will end up using and will be very helpful in collecting the information from the field. Garrett, let's show them how we can change the background of the map background.
Sure. So to change the background base map, you can select the ellipses again, and then select base map. And this list of alternative base maps will display. To switch in between, you can select the map thumbnail in the base map gallery. By default, the map background appears as a dark gray canvas for ease of visibility. You also have the option to select satellite imagery and a street base map as well.
So this gives you basically an option to look at satellite imagery and see exactly where you are standing. And you can also kind of cross-check the information as you are standing and see your GPS is correctly locating you and your location on which side of the road, at what corner of the road, and things like that. All right. So Garrett, any offline data collection information you would like to add here?
Yes, so if data are collected and you lose service, for instance, any data that are collected online, you won't lose that data as soon as service is restored or you get a Wi-Fi connection. It will automatically sync to the cloud, so you won't be losing any data that have already been collected.
And another good feature here is, and we know that the FDOT phones sometimes don't have the app stores. So this is also available. The Field Maps application is also available from the COM portal.
A couple more features. So to enable and disable layers, you can select this stacked layer icon at the top of the application. And by default, all editable layers are enabled. The non-editable statewide safety initiative layers are turned off, but can be enabled for your reference. And finally, to view the legend, you can select the ellipses again, and then select legend, and a list of layers that are currently enabled will display.
All right, so this is the field map for you. So it's a very easy and very intuitive way of collecting the information. If any information, any additional training, district specific that you would need, please feel free to reach out to Alan Al Urfali, and we would be able to kind of set up a specific district training on this topic. So now let's talk about what other option we have. We have a desktop application. We will switch into the desktop application here in a moment. But while Garrett does that, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the desktop application. The desktop application is quite similar to what you are seeing here. The only difference is it's in a bigger screen. Whatever information that you are able to collect in the field data, you should be able to also collect that in the desktop application. Desktop application also has an ability to pre-populate a lot of the information that you don't have to spend time in the field. So if one of your staff or yourself is going out in the field, you can just go into the desktop application and pre-populate the road name. In the desktop, there's an ability for it to auto-populate as well. The GPS coordinates in both the in the field map is auto-populated as well. So the desktop application absolutely is very important to pre-populate the information or post correct the information and retrieve the information that you collected in the field as well. Let's show the desktop application here. What you see here, like I said earlier, this is the same desktop application, similar looking format, but in a bigger screen. And if you remember, Garrett had collected the information on one of the signalized intersection um, in Jacksonville region. So you see that that information is already pre-populated. So when he zoom into that, you can actually click on it and you can see what you've done in the field, and you should be able to see what you have collected, and in fact also look at the picture that we had taken for this particular specific thing. So Garrett.
All right, thank you. So the features in the desktop editor are similar to what is in the field application, just located in some different places. So the layer list dropdown is going to be in the top right-hand corner, and just like the field application, those that are enabled by default are the editable layers. The legend appears right next to it. These are the layers that are currently turned on. We also have the base map selector, which is right here. It's the base map gallery, and it has the same number of base maps that appears in field maps. And then the editor button appears here. And so when creating a new feature, you can click on this editor button, zoom to where you want to create the new feature, and select the feature you want to create, and just click. When you're editing in desktop, it's going to automatically populate the state road at the beginning, and you will see the same number of fields that you see in the field application.
Desktop application also has an ability to change to aerial and all those different type of base layer map by clicking on the base map gallery. And you can still look at the aerial imagery, or you can look at the street name base map as well. So in essence, this application are very intuitively designed to collect the information from the field or from the desktop. So it is like we said initially, it is an option for the districts to use to facilitate the collection of the information. What it does in this format is that the information is collected in a uniform fashion with a consistent type of data that is collected everywhere else in the state. So it's basically making it normalizing everything in terms of the collection of the information and the data that we need from the field. Once again, all these are expandable and portable to other projects. So it's a start with the 30 pet bike safety corridors. It can be actually implemented to other projects as well. All the information collected here will get directly linked to the internal e-traffic application. So what you collect here, that information will automatically be pushed back to the internal e-traffic web page as well. With that, this concludes this training. If you have any questions or anything that you would like to specifically maybe conduct a training from the district side, please reach out to Alan Elurfali, and we'll facilitate that discussion or another walkthrough. A guidebook is also developed for this purpose, and that will also be shared as part of the application as well. So thank you very much for listening, and let us know if any questions. Thank you.